I don't know what's high if you're here. I don't even know. I haven't live streamed since they did the whole loopy one channel design switch over, so I don't even know what's going on. Normally I change my whole channel to like feature it, but as of right now, I don't think I can do that. So, like, what do I do? Where do I go? What is going on? I don't know that I even can. So whatever. This is my live stream, and we just gonna do it. What's up? What's up? What's up? You should be able to see me. I don't know. I think it's live. Can I make this the live thing, guys? I don't even know. What if I put that in there? Bam! Now I think you can. I think it's the featured thing. I don't even know. I don't even know, but what is going on, guys and girls? It just GhostRobo. Hope you like my shirt. It's like my current favorite shirt. They're doing this thing. I get a lot of shirts from random companies. One of the companies is Threadless, and they had this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles contest. People designed TMNT shirts that were stylish. This one is probably my favorite. It took them like 3 weeks to get this to me, which is really annoying, but it was worth the wait because, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of goofy and whatever. But this live stream, I haven't live streamed about 3 weeks, so I'm going to be doing questions and answers and stuffs on this one, and then we'll resume game live streams. I know a lot of people really enjoyed those later this week. I'm planning on streaming some Rogue Legacy. That game is just bonkers and amazing, and I'm glad that a lot of you seem to like it. I posted a video yesterday called The Best $15 You Can Spend This Summer, and I still strongly feel that way. Also, I might dive back into Game Dev Tycoon as sort of a little trip down memory lane for those of you who enjoyed that. But what is up? Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/GhostRobo. I'll be taking all the questions from there. I don't answer questions on YouTube, because the comments there update really crappily and really quickly, and it'll come in chunks. So just to be perfectly transparent, the reason I do it on Twitter is because I can see your tweets come through one by one. On YouTube, and the comments update, a lot of times it's like, bleh, and they vomit 100 at me in a row, and I can't, there's no way to keep up with that. So twitter.com/GhostRobo, follow me there, hashtag AskGhost, and I will take your questions. The last live stream I did was the beginning of June. I traveled to E3 for a good week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I've been home trying to reacclimate and bust through The Last of Us, bust through Deadpool, put up State of Decay, and haven't had time to do any of these little meet and greet interaction fest things. So I'm glad that we're able to finally get back on track with this. Yes, questions. Go to Twitter. A lot of people say, "What's my real name?" Which is in the title of this video, Zachariah. My parents named me Zachary when I was born, so I've gone by Zach since I was very, very little. But some people, different people in my life call me Zachary, depending on how close they are to me or whatever, which I think is funny and fine because I don't even think of myself as Zachary, but that's cool. Also, a lot of people asking, is this going to be a video? My face is, there's this house, first, it will become a video. Every live stream becomes a video, that's why I live stream on YouTube. Probably should try it on Twitch, I don't know, but YouTube makes a video, which is nice, because then if you miss the stream, you can still see it afterwards. Anyways, the house I'm in, because I'm not in my apartment anymore, which is kind of annoying, but because that had beautiful lighting. Here, there's like no good lighting, so the only rooms that I can really work in are the ones that have tons of windows, and then on a day like today where it's raining and cloudy, I'm relying on artificial yellow lights, which makes my face look white and clear and shiny. Let's see. Squidbot asks, what do you prefer, first or third person games? It's a tough question. Before The Last of Us, I would have told you first person, because almost all my favorite games were first person titles, but I think that if the character is well done, third person has a lot of merit to it. I've never been a fan of third person shooters, but The Last of Us kind of won me over. I thought that their perspective, the way they zoomed you into Joel's shoulder when you held down the trigger, was perfect. I thought the viewing angle and the way that it controlled felt almost as good as a first-person shooter, and I loved seeing Joel in the world. I think it just depends what kind of game you want to create. If you're doing like a Batman Arkham Asylum kind of game, if you're doing a Last of Us kind of game where you want the main character to be your primary connection with the world, then that works out beautifully. If you want it to be an exploration-driven game where it's like, whoa, a whole new world, you feel like freaking Jasmine riding that carpet for the first time, you're playing Skyrim or Bioshock Infinite, then I think first person serves you really well. A lot of it depends on the story you want to tell. I feel like third person games in general, blanket statement here, are crappier when done poorly than first person games when done poorly. Just because I can think of a whole cavalcade of terrible third person shooters, Army of Two, and just a lot of things that are really poor. But overall, I think I like first person more, but I think that if you're going to do a really cool story-driven environmental game, like Last of Us, Alan Wake, Batman, those work really well third person. So if I was going to make a game, I would make a third person game, even though I think I prefer first person. So it's sort of a little bit of love on both sides of the coin. A lot of people asking what my real name is. It's still Zach. I haven't changed it. I do have lawyers waiting outside this room in case I'm ready to make a switch, but I'm holding strong, fingers crossed, to the one I've been rocking for the last 23 and a half years. Let's see. Olivia asked if I will be seeing The Lone Ranger. I've seen at least 20 previews for that movie, and I just found out that Armie Hammer, the main character with the weird name, is the twins from The Social Network, which weirded me out totally, because now I saw the preview yesterday when I went to see Man of Steel, and I was like, you are supposed to be fighting Mark Zuckerberg for rights and money, and instead he's fighting cowboys, so that really spooked me. If the movie does well, I'll see it. I have a slight fear that it's a movie that is going to ride entirely on Johnny Depp's face, and even it's not really his face, it's his Jack Sparrow makeup heavily done face, so in that case I fear it could be a movie that gets like a 20 on Metacritic, which I probably won't see. This lighting is really bugging me, I'm so sorry. I have some giant like boom video lights, and I'm going to have to set those up and use them soon because this is driving me freaking crazy. Sebastio Lopez says, do you have an Ouya? I don't, and I probably won't. I've heard plenty of terrible things about that. And the controller, the button stick, nobody seems to really like it. I have an Android phone, so I have really no motive to play Android games on a TV. I don't know who it would even apply to. Like, it's a box that plays mobile games on your television, so probably don't have a I mean, do you have a smartphone if you want this? Why would you? You don't have a console, probably. You probably don't have a PC, so this is targeted to people who either have like a smartphone and want to play them on a big screen, or don't have a smartphone. I don't see the appeal. I think the launch of it has been really crappy. I know that they were really blasted at E3. They, funny story, they came to, I think it was Ouya. It had to be Ouya. They set up was it Ouya or was it OnLive? I get the two confused. I think it was Ouya. They set up well, regardless, whoever it was, it's a funny story. They set up a truck across from E3, and they were doing like promotion, because they're not part of the ESA, which is the Entertainment Stupid Association, I don't know, something like that. And they're in big cahoots with E3 and all the major companies, and so they're not part of that, and so E3 did not welcome them onto the show floor. So they set up across from E3, and were doing their thing, trying to like attract attention, and then E3 bought out the space right in front of them and put up a giant truck to block their view so no one could see them outside. And then Ouya bought up the space in front of that truck so that they could be in front again. And it was like this stupid war, and then the cops got called, and they found out that no one was doing anything wrong, and it just was a dumb mess. And it's like, why are you even trying to cause trouble? Anyways, JC News 576 says, when will we get the next State of Decay? Today, Larry Shay. Yeah, baby. Yeah, YouTube has been having a lot of problems. I don't know if your other people you subscribe to have said the same thing, but it's had a lot of problems with processing, with uploading, with sub boxes. It's just been a messy week. So I've had some troubles getting stuff up. Things are taking way longer to process than normal. I'll have a video up and be like, yes, now I can get my next video, because I plan them out so they're not all in a row, right? I don't want to upload 6 videos in 60 minutes, because then they'll all get lost in the shuffle. But it's hard when you're like, oh, this video is going to go up at 1, and then YouTube takes an extra half hour to process. It's just messed up my schedule, but the next State of Decay will be up later today. The Batman 12356 says, he loves my shirt, thank you very much. If you're just joining, it's a TMNT shirt. Foot Clan, blah, I don't even know, but I like it a lot. Rocksteady, Bebop, old-fashioned Ninja Turtles, not the stupid new ones. I don't know, that Michael Bay movie kind of scares me. Let's see. Next question. If you're just joining, we're taking questions on Twitter, twitter.com/GhostRobo. Haven't done a live stream in 3 weeks, thought it'd be fun to do some Q&A stuff. Hashtag AskGhost for priority questions. A lot of people are asking, at least 3, where did I get the name GhostRobo? And I don't remember. It was something that came to me very quickly. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about what would be an alternate name. It was just GhostRobo, and that was it. So there was no like epic birthing process of GhostRobo. Like I was sitting at a Starbucks feeling sad, and I felt like a ghost inside, and then a robot walked in front of me, and I was like, oh! No, it was just... From the beginning, it was like GhostRobo, and nothing was called GhostRobo online, pretty much. It's like, yes, it works. It's amazing to think, even back then, because I started about 2.5 years ago, October of 2010, when I created my channel, and GhostRobo was available. A lot of names were available. Now, you pretty much have to put X's in front or numbers or something. It's so hard to get a name that is a unique name with no crazy marks. And also, they've sort of clamped down on what you can use in your YouTube title. So it's really tricky to find a good name these days. A lot of people always are like, Ghost, what's a great name? I don't know. I thought GhostRobo was cool, and luckily it wasn't taken, but I'm no expert on name picking, and it's really hard because YouTube is literally... They did this thing now where once a channel name is taken, even if the account is destroyed, even if the person deletes their channel or their account, it can never be used again. So people can kind of just take up a lot of names, and I find a problem even on other services. You know, GhostRobo is taken everywhere now, which is weird to me. I was trying to redo a PlayStation Network account, and I couldn't get GhostRobo. I couldn't get the GhostRobo. I couldn't get GhostRobo 13. I couldn't get like anything that I wanted to get because it was... There's like audio playing somewhere. It's driving me crazy. Hello? Hello? Oh, it's me talking to myself. It's my live stream on the other computer. Whoops! Anyways, but GhostRobo was taken everywhere. Like, I go to make an account on even silly stuff, like Marvel Heroes, that new MMO. I tried out for a second. GhostRobo was taken. It's, like, really, really kind of creepy that some fan gets the name before I do on almost everything. And now that PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are carrying over gamer tags, luckily, I'll keep my GhostRobo on Xbox, but I can't get GhostRobo on PlayStation Network, which is sad. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I currently have some that I'm using in secret right now to debut with PlayStation 4, but I wish I had the GhostRobo. I just don't. And I was too slow, I guess, to get it when I first came out on the scene. Let's see. Jacob asks if I will be J. Panthanini, Parthanini, Puthanani. Jacob, will I be opening a new P.O. box? Yeah, I'm officially staying in Indiana for 6 months, which is great to know. Don't have to worry about moving. We'll be here through the launches of the consoles, the fall season. Bam, don't have to deal with switching locations. I might switch locations within Indiana, but I'm not going to be moving anywhere else, which is kind of a relief for me. I sort of wanted to go back to California just because of the weather and because I really liked it there, but nobody I know would be there, and my family is so up in the air with what they're doing and going through possibly losing the house I'm in right now. It's expected to be seized from us next month. Anyways, so I might be in a different location here, but I will at least be in Indiana, which is good. So I will be opening a P.O. box soon, and I'll be sure to let you guys know right away. Reynaldo, big fan, what's up, dude? If you could alter anything of The Last of Us, what would you change? The game is nearly perfect, and without going into spoilers, if I could alter anything about the game, what would I change? And I think that, well, it's a simple one, but I would have liked more enemy types. I thought the clickers were great. I thought the bloaters kind of cool. The infected are fun, but I would have liked more enemy types. I would have probably also modified the ending sequence. I didn't think that really fit in with sort of the overall feel of the game and the rest of the combat. And I probably would have liked more combat instances that had fear and like real sense of like, holy crap, like you did in the subway very early on in the game. A lot of it eventually boiled down to I had such an arsenal of weaponry. I was a freaking one-man army, and I could just go through and blow guys to hell and back if I needed to. I tried to stealth, but it would have been cool if they would have found a way to create more claustrophobic and creepy combat scenarios. And I think new enemies would have done that for you, because as much as it's great to have a few iconic foes, once you got used to the clickers, you were pretty set on how to take them down time and time again. For me, what really broke the illusion of fear in that game was when I figured out you could take down clickers from the front. When I first started, and I didn't read any comments on YouTube, I thought you could only take them out from behind. And this created a really, really tight and tense set of rules that I had to follow if I wanted to kill a clicker. And then I found out, no, you can actually kill them facing them because they can't see you. Well, that kind of took away a lot of that suspense. So a few more enemies, more claustrophobic encounters, and probably modify that end sequence a little bit without going into spoilers. Miguel Cool 9999 says, "What is the best game you've ever played?" I don't know officially. Right now, it feels like The Last of Us, but that's sort of, you're on that natural high after beating the game, and I have to give it a couple weeks to see what I really think. But if you notice me looking away from the camera, it's because I'm looking at the Twitter feed and then looking at the camera. It's not like there's some creepy individual. And one of my last, okay, I'll get back to the best game, but one of my last vlogs, I was moving my hand and someone was walking behind me, and for some reason people kept thinking that the hand was someone else. It was my hand, like, in front of me. It just looked weird because you couldn't see my arm. And then someone, my dad or mom, was walking behind me and be like, "It must be his girlfriend, it must be his brother, someone's touching him." No, it was just my hand, and way off in the distance, someone was walking behind me. Anyways, my favorite games of all time, a good mix of stuff. I really like a lot this generation, which I know kind of feels biased, but I think that they've been able to bring in the story aspect so much stronger in the last couple of years, which is a huge, huge part for me. So games like Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum, Bioshock Infinite, The Last of Us, Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, these are all games that I would include in my top 10 of all time. I just don't know exactly how the order will fit. Let's see. Magic Gruffmuff says, "How old is Noah?" He is awesome. He is awesome. He just got back from camp. Probably going to try to do a video with him later this week. He is 11. His birthday is on September 2nd. He was actually due on 9/11/2001, which is kind of a fun little piece of trivia for you. He was due on September 11th, and then was born 9 days early, and was a sweet little baby pirate when my parents came to pick me up from school. That got canceled early because of the terrorist attacks. And I was like, he was due on September 11th. That would have been madness, and he would have been sad. Or maybe not, I don't know. I've heard some people say that. I had a teacher in high school who was like, "My birthday's September 11th. I don't even celebrate it anymore." I was like, okay, like, it is a national tragedy, and it is incredibly upsetting, and I do, like, think about it a lot, but I would still try to celebrate my birthday. I don't know, maybe I'm silly. Let's see. ARW Sooner says, "Who was my inspiration to start YouTube?" You know, when I first started, the first person I watched as a commentator, because again, back when I started, October 2010, hardly anyone was doing commentary. A lot of people were uploading gameplay, but commentary was at a minimum. The Rad Brad existed, the Media Cows existed. The Media Cows didn't do commentary back then. SSOHPKC was around. Uberhexer Nova was around. But the guy that I watched was CNanners. He was the person that I was like, I like this. I can do it, and I want to do it. And then I started after watching his stuff. I followed a lot of Call of Duty guys back then, not because I was so into Call of Duty, but because they were kind of at the forefront of the commentary scene. White Boy and Hutch and CNanners and a couple other people. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, I loved any single one of them. It was more, I was learning from them. They were sort of my, unbeknownst to them, my mentors in how to do this YouTube thing in a really good fashion. Obviously, I adopted my own methods and techniques, but I spent a long time researching and figuring out what made them, how they did it, and what made them sort of have fun with it and be successful at it. Golden Star PhD says, "I should do more cooking videos." Should I? I don't know. I would like to. It's kind of a disaster, but it's fun. I'll have to do one soon. Dinosaur Spartan, I like your avatar picture a freaking lot. I wish I could show it. If I had my phone with me, I could. What sequel would I like to see the most? Right now, the sequel I'm most anticipating is Mirror's Edge 2. I thought the trailer looked so dope. The game is incredibly beautiful, even on the current gen systems, even being so old. And what they can do with next-gen lighting and stuff is going to be crazy. The game's going to be more open world, less focused on guns. It could be a dream come true. Hopefully they don't botch it. It sounds like it's not coming out for a while, though, which is another sad point of news, but it should be cool once it does. Let's see. S98 Anthony says, "What are your opinions on Deadpool? I thought it was a really short game." It is a really short game. It's not a full price title. It's $50, and that's a little high for me. I would recommend it at 20 or 30. I'm not that into Deadpool. The humor doesn't really gel with me. It's not really my style. To me, it's kind of like, oh my god, how could it be so crude and lewd? But I know that a lot of people are really into that, and so I appreciate how far they push it. And I like the references they made. Some of the throwbacks to Call of Duty, to Little Big Planet, to Zelda, very cool. Some smart things there. It's just a very generic game with a very bad camera. So it's fun moment to moment, but over long stretches like this is really darn repetitive. And there's some some clog rooms, I'll call them. That's not even a thing, but a clog room where they really bog you down with a lot of enemies, and so it's button mash city, and you're dying over and over again because there's gun enemies and melee, so you're fighting the melee enemies up close, and then the gun guys are all shooting you, circling you. So there's some frustrating moments, some repetitive, very repetitive gameplay, button mashy combat, bad camera, but like the overall experience is pretty fun and short. So if you can pick it up for like $20 somewhere, I think it's a fun, serviceable summer game. It's kind of the equivalent of a popcorn flick at the movie theater, where, you know, hey, it's not going to be anything that's going to be magical. If you love Deadpool, I could see you really loving it. For me, it was like a 6 out of 10 game. Let's see. Edwin is cool, says, how old am I? I am 23. My birthday is December 13th. I've seen a lot of people think my birthday is December 27th, I think it was. There's even a Wikipedia-type page about me that says my birthday is December 27th. So I don't know where that started. I've had actually a number of videos where people say happy birthday to me when it's not my birthday. I don't really know why. Maybe there's a bunch of random dates going on around there. But the only one that means anything to me is December 13th. Cool fact, I turned 13 on Friday the 13th in 2003, and I will turn 24 on Friday the 13th here in 2013, the first time in, well, 2002, I guess, is when we turned 13. First time in 11 years that I've had a Friday the 13th birthday, so I'm planning on going to the moon. No, I don't know. I would like to do something fun, though, because I think it's pretty cool to have a birthday on Friday the 13th, and it's my lucky number. I've always loved 13. I wore it in sports. It's never been a bad omen to me. I was sad to see many hotels omit that floor from their structure when I was younger, but, yeah, it's... The weirdest Friday the 13th story I've ever had is, it wasn't on my birthday. I was in Florida on vacation. I was really young, probably like 10 or so, and so Jake was about 5 or 6, and we rented a movie. I believe it was a Franklin movie Jake picked. If you know who Franklin is, he's this green turtle that never does wrong. It's kind of a cute show if you're a baby. Anyways, and so we rented this Franklin movie, and it worked perfectly fine earlier in the day before, and then we were going to finish it on Friday the 13th at night, and I put it in the VCR, and nothing worked. It wouldn't play. It wouldn't work. The TV was fine, the VCR was fine, but as soon as you put the movie in, it was like, Twilight Zone, Friday the 13th, Doomsday, crazy, and it didn't work. So I don't know what that was about, but every other time I've had great luck with the number 13. It's been my favorite number all along, and I don't hold anything against it or any bad news. Mr. Jobo D. Hobo says tea is better than hot chocolate, which I strongly disagree with. Tea is okay. I've learned to love it over the last couple of years, but you can't top hot chocolate. That's just, it's impossible. It's not, it's like LeBron can't ever top Michael Jordan. It's just something that will never come to fruition no matter what ever happens. Thomas McKean asks, do I think Xbox One will pull ahead of the PlayStation 4? I've maintained for a long time I think both will sell really well. I do think the Microsoft system is going to sell better. I think for a number of reasons. One, I think there's plenty of people that are on Xbox Live that are not going to want to make the switch to PlayStation Network no matter what. Two, I think Xbox has become the platform for Call of Duty and Madden, which are two of the biggest non-hardcore gamer titles in the entire world. They're two games that if you don't play BioShock and Last of Us and Deadpool and Mario, like, you'll play Madden and you'll play Call of Duty and you'll buy those two games a year. That's like a known big subset of the gaming industry, and those people are mostly tied to the Xbox. And I don't think that a $100 price difference is going to sway them because all of their friends, their profile, their history is all built into the Xbox Live infrastructure, and that's not going to disappear. So I think people are very much overestimating the price difference. I think it's really cool. I think it's great what Sony's doing. In fact, I have an awesome giveaway planned for later this week. It's not tied to a series or anything. It's just to sort of be my peace offering to Sony fans. I recommend the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One at launch. I don't know in 6 months what I'd recommend. I think the controller is fantastic on the PS4, but I do think that the Xbox One will sell better. And I also think that Titanfall is going to be huge. Everything I've seen says Titanfall is a game-changer title. It's fantastic. It really is a challenger to the Call of Duty throne. That is going to be an Xbox One exclusive. Whether it's timed or not doesn't matter. If they get a year head start for that game and that game takes off, they market the hell out of it and it does really well, that's a real pusher for consoles, because not everybody's going to buy it in November, right? People will get Christmas money, will get gift cards, and then say Titanfall releases February or March. You're going to hear that Inception, like, the huge sound effect, and Microsoft is going to steamroll ahead. You also have to remember, this is key, regardless of the cost of the system, regardless of the quality, regardless of the games, regardless of anything, Microsoft is probably poised to spend double of Sony in marketing. They spent a just insane amount of money for 360 and for Kinect, and if they double up Sony's marketing budget, that's huge. And it doesn't even matter that it's worse or it's better, or it's more, or it's less, or it's stupid, or it's great, or it's dumb, or it's happy. That's incredibly huge. You get ads in newspapers, in magazines, all over television on major events, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, huge, NBA season opener, stuff like that. You put it in front of big TV shows on ABC, NBC, CBS. That drives sales, and right there, like, marketing plays a huge role in how well a game does. That's why so many titles that are cult classics don't sell well. They have really crappy marketing. I think the Xbox One will sell better in the first 6 months and in the first year than PlayStation 4. Color me corrected if it's different. I expect them to be very close, but I do think the Xbox One will come out on top, even within this holiday season, the first 2 months. Let's see. Trying to find some good questions. Lots of good ones so far today. Really awesome. If you're just joining, if you just hopped in, Twitter.com/GhostRobo, ask me questions, hashtag Ask a Ghost for a little bit of line priority. Haven't live streamed in 3 weeks, so we're taking some Q&As. A lot of you asking live or play World of Warcraft. The answer is no. I don't like that game. I've tried twice. I bought the expansions, bought the subscription. It was like, oh my god, this is a waste of my time. I can't get into it. I feel like I'm doing nothing. I feel like I'm clicking a button and watching a character with pretty dated graphics do nothing. There's no sense of accomplishment or progress for me. I know you are progressing. I know there's a lot of people that love it. I just can't get into it. I'm desperately awaiting the MMO that grabs me. There just haven't been one yet. And I think a shooter MMO along the lines of Defiance, but done really much better, a game like Destiny will be the thing that pulls me in. I would happily subscribe to Destiny. They're not doing it that way, but that's the thing that I think could kind of get the ball rolling on MMOs that appeal to more hardcore gamers. I think MMOs are really cool for what they do. It's just not my thing. Meatnick says, so you went to E3, Ghost. Where's the most interesting game you saw that's coming out soon? The most interesting game? So not like a prominent big title. I mean, Infamous Second Son was amazing. Here, interesting one. It's called Outlast. It's for the PlayStation 4. It's a horror game in first-person perspective, gorgeous graphics, and you're in this asylum/prison place. No weapons. You have a flashlight. It's on a video camera, though, so there's a really cool filter effect. It feels like you're in some creepy horror movie. And it just had a really good sense of environment, a really good sense of place. It was very haunting. I jumped on the show floor. I was really embarrassed about that. We have footage of it. But I visibly jumped, and I felt so embarrassed because I was like, I'm a little baby, short and scared. Everyone around me is going to think I'm weird. And maybe they did, or maybe they didn't, but it was terrifying. It was a good jump scare, and the game seemed pretty intense. So it's an indie title, and it's one to watch out for sure. It does a lot of the same things that you're used to from games like Slender or whatever, but with production values through the roof, gorgeous graphics, and in a really tight control system. I'm excited to see where they go with that. It's called Outlast. Outlast, no weird spelling or anything like that. Let's see. Forever Ball in 27 says, what position do you play in basketball? Well, I wish I still played. I don't. When I did play, I was a point guard my whole life. Until like late middle school years. I think the best player is usually always point guard. Not to say I was some superstar, but I was really good. So I was the point guard, and then I moved to shooting guard when I honed my shot more, and that became sort of my specialty, 3-point shooting. I wish I was still playing basketball. I miss it so much. I've gotten back into basketball a lot lately. Thanks to Noah, pretty much. He's so hardcore in the NBA, and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and people like that. It's really brought me back, which is fun. I just wish I could still play. There was a period of time my senior year where I was shooting like some absurd percentage, like 60% from the 3-point line or something crazy. Anyways, I still have to make a basketball video. Julius Python says, what is your favorite movie of 2013? Close call. I think right now my favorite is Man of Steel. Again, it could just be that I really enjoyed it yesterday and I'll forget about it in a couple weeks, but I thought it was the best superhero fighting I've seen. I don't know what they... Well, I know what they did, but the CG and the action, the intensity, and the speed, and also... Like, it was filmed very quick, but you could still follow what's going on. Some movies film really fast, like, blah, 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 you don't even know, it's just like a blur is flying through the air. But this one, they really, really captured the emotional oomph of the battles, plus let you follow what was going on. It reminded me strongly of Dragon Ball Z, which I was a huge fan of when I was about 12 years old. And so watching the movie made me feel like I was a kid watching Dragon Ball Z, except in real life with Superman and crazy combat girl Lara Croft, dark-haired emo demon, whatever her name was. Ash666, big fan from Twitter. What's up, dude? Would you say that The Last of Us was the best voice-acted game you have played? Probably. I think Troy Baker did a much better job there than he did in Bioshock Infinite. If you don't know, Troy Baker is the voice of Joel and Booker DeWitt. He's sort of the current 2013 version of Nolan North, who does a little bit of everything. Nolan North was Deadpool, which is so weird. I thought Ellie was really well done. One of my favorite characters of all time. I think she outshines Joel, to be perfectly honest. WW Renard says, have I ever played Siren Blood Curse? Yes, I have. That game scared the crap out of me. It's a PlayStation 3 downloadable game. Don't play it if you're faint-hearted. Parker Morris, are you excited for Dark Souls 2? I bet you are. I sure as heck am. So sad it's not releasing this year. Thought it'd be an epic game for fall 2013. In fact, it is March 2014, but we will conquer it in due time. PlayStation Forever. Will you watch Despicable Me 2? I'd love a review. I'm planning on seeing it. Noah really wants to, so maybe we can do a review. Finley says, will you be playing Pokemon X and Y? Yes, I will. I showed it briefly on my Instagram. I do have an Instagram if you want to follow me there, if you like weird pictures and stuff. I have a 3DS capture card now, so I can natively record 3DS, which is awesome. I could never do that before, so that's why I tried doing some like 3DS games, like just like I'll put your camera on the screen, and that was really hard and awkward, and I'd have to play like hovering over it and like don't move your hands, and it was really just bad news. But now I can natively capture it, which is great. If you don't know what that means, it means I can plug it into the computer and record the footage from the screen. It appears in the computer, and I can record it. So I can get really high quality, crisp video. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a series on that actually, which is going to be pretty sexy. A lot of people asking what's my game of the year so far. It's really close between Infinite and Last of Us. Last of Us right now has the edge. We'll see how I feel in a couple weeks. Rock Paper Ninja says, where do I think Dwight Howard will go? I don't care. I think he's a baby. I like Kobe, so if I want whatever Kobe wants to have. If Kobe wants D12 to stay, please stay. If he wants him to go, get out of there. I think he's a wimp. I think he's a real sour, dumb star. You know, he's a whiner in Orlando. He's a whiner in LA. Like, that doesn't... I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of these sports stars that think they can just, because they're rich and because they're talented, can get away with anything. Stop acting like a little child. This isn't high school. Lamar Club says, Mac, Windows, or Linux? I've never used Linux. I have a PC behind me. I'm on a Mac right now. I was an all-Mac person up until I started YouTube, and then I started appreciating the benefits of some PC stuff. So I use a PC for all of my YouTube adventures. I use a MacBook for all of my personal like computer time stuff. So if I'm doing emails or just like browsing the internet or playing like, I was going to say playing games, but I don't mean it like that. I mean more like playing online. I don't know, like internet browsing, movies, stuff like that I do on the Mac, and then YouTube games I do on PC. Joseph Ground says, you're epic, Joseph. Thank you. Lots of love. I love all you guys too. Thank you so much. We've had such an epic month. I don't know if you know. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I mentioned this on Twitter, but we've added over 40,000, like 43,000 new members of the GhostRobo Army this month, which is our biggest growth ever. Crazy. It's our best view month, our best subscriber month. It's the biggest month in GhostRobo history, which is awesome. We really just awesome work by you fans. Thank you so much. The most likes I've ever gotten on videos. Just everything's sort of coming together in a beautiful way. I'm really excited to use this as the springboard to launch into the fall and just make it a... The Last of Us I thought was my best series, and I really want to just deliver you guys the most awesome, amazing videos that I can, and mixing in walkthroughs with opinionated coverage, with vlogs, and just really create the best channel I can for everybody. So I'm really excited and really thankful for the support we got going on right about now. Tweets are coming in faster than I can keep up with. I am doing my best to get through these in chronological order. Please just ask your question once. It makes it a lot easier for me. I will try to get to it. Aled, the Polar Bear, says, favorite Nintendo game? I really like Super Mario 64, and I really like Super Mario World. I have a hard time picking between them. Mario 64 I have better memories of. Mario World I think is probably a more tightly made game. I'll give the edge to Mario 64, though, because it was like so mind-blowing to play a 3D game in Mario, and I wish they would have made the new Mario more like that. The new Mario is really good. It's really good. It's so fun. But I still wish that they would have made more of a Mario 64 hub world, painting, something like that, a bunch of different levels. Let's see. Francesco Zella asked, how do I see myself in 10 years? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to do next month half the time. I'm not like a life plan type person. I know some people have that, like, oh, and I want to live in a yellow house with 3 kids and a wife who's 10 feet tall. I don't have anything like that. Right now I'm focused on YouTube. I'm focused on having fun, focused on helping my family out, and just being the best person I can possibly be. And that's my current plan, and wherever that leads me, hopefully it's fun and exciting. I definitely know I want to do fun and exciting stuff always. Right now, YouTube is my thing. It's my passion, so I'm going to keep going with that as long as I can. Darks or Unbearable says, do you think there'll be a DLC for The Last of Us? Yeah, they're planning 3, I think. 1 single player, 2 multiplayer. I'm most excited for the single player. Interested to see where they will go with that. Couple people asked, am I from the U.S. or the U.K.? I'm definitely from the U.S. Let's see. Cool Max Extra says, what was the first game I've ever played? I don't know what game I first laid my hands on. I know it was either Duck Hunt, Mario Brothers, Pro Wrestling. It's one of those 3. I don't know what it was exactly first. I'm guessing Mario. That would make the most sense. My uncle, who's a good 10 years older than me, 13 years older than me, he had an NES, and me and my dad would play Mario, Duck Hunt, and Pro Wrestling with him at the holidays. At the holidays around Christmas when I'd visit my grandparents. And then I rented The Little Mermaid. That was the first game I ever beat. The Little Mermaid for NES, great game, classic, amazing. If you haven't played it, play it. It's great graphics, great storyline, great voice acting. That was really fun. Noah A067. Do I play any other sports than basketball? I was a 4-year varsity athlete in high school. I played basketball, tennis, and ran cross country. I only ran cross country for a year. I played tennis and basketball for 4 years. I really liked tennis. I got really good at it really quick. I didn't have the greatest strokes, but I was very athletic, so I could play doubles really well, and I developed a decent serve and a great net game, so that was a lot of fun. Actually, my most success, surprisingly, in high school was in tennis. Because people thought I was too skinny for basketball, which sort of sucked. I usually was the most talented, but I had coaches in high school that were much more like, we need strength. And so, in fact, I got cut my freshman year, which was the most devastating experience in my life because I, all through middle school, I averaged 20 points a game, led my leagues in scoring, thought I was primed to have a great high school career. I got there, I had a great tryout, I shot the ball really well. I even had varsity players from the team being like, we need this guy on our team, and then the coach cut me because I was too skinny and small. Which I understand, it made me sad. Let's see. Damn You Ugly. That's not a very nice name, but I'll answer your question anyways. Do you think there should have been jump scares in The Last of Us? No, I don't know why people are calling it horror. Like I said, that first subway scene is a little tense, but after that it really wasn't. Xander Storm says, what do you love about Rogue Legacy the most so far? That game is amazing. I don't know if you checked it out. I posted a video yesterday. It's called Best $15 this summer. I'm going to be doing more of it. It's basically a mix between Binding of Isaac, Dark Souls, Mega Man. So many good games all in one. It's fantastic. It's so worth the money. It's got roguelite elements. It's really good. You go through this castle. It's randomly generated. It's a little bit like Castlevania in that way as well. Not the randomly generated part, just the castle with rooms and stuff. And you take your character. When they die, you pick the next heir. Heir as in H-E-I-R, next person in the bloodline. A little bit of Infinity Blade in that sense, and they have different characteristics. Maybe one is colorblind, so the screen goes all black and white. Maybe one is really slow, so they move slow. Maybe one's nearsighted, so everything's blurry except right around you. Really, really great little tweaks on the gameplay. There's all these upgrades, armor, spells. You can level up your character to level whatever, go all the way, at least level 100, I know. And then go back in the castle. There's bosses. It's fantastic. I think it's going to be a great, fun series to both live stream and do in regular video format on the channel. I recommend it to everybody. It's one of the best games of the year and probably the best indie game so far that's come out in 2013. I think it is a more tightly crafted experience than State of Decay, if you want to kind of consider State of Decay a little bit of an indie experience. Let's see. Marco asks, what is my favorite game that I'd like to be remaked this generation? I'm not the biggest fan of remakes because I think it robs us of a possibility of a new IP. They're redoing Zelda Wind Waker. Yay! I would like to play that. I'm going to play it this fall, but I would rather have had a new Zelda or a new Nintendo experience. But, favorite game that I'd like to see remade? I don't really know. It's tough. I'm more the kind of person that'd like a sequel to something. I really wanted a sequel to Mirror's Edge. I can't think of anything specific that I'd want remade. I really liked... I'd say Mega Man, but they sort of did that with 9 and 10. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for this one. Sorry. So many of the games I love because of what they were. I mean, like Mario 64 remake that in HD, it wouldn't really gain anything for me. Um, remake Bioshock and better graphics, or like whatever. So I don't really know. I'd have to think really hard, I guess, about something that's of a past generation that would be benefited by a remake. Because for me, just like the prettier visuals, I'm not one to replay games. I'm not one to reread books. I'm not one to rewatch movies. So that's a little bit of a tricky question for me. Let's see. A lot of people asking like best game I've ever played or game of the year. I think I made it pretty clear. Last of Us and Bioshock Infinite are my favorites. Let's see. Luca Gasson says, "Hey Ghost, I want to know your view on video game violence and that if video games are bad for young people." I think video game violence is okay as long as you're of the appropriate age. I'm very cautious. My parents and I both, because I'm the one playing the games and having them like all over always, have always been very cautious with Noah, my younger brother. I don't let him watch anything that I feel is inappropriate for him. I'm very protective of his innocence and of his ability to just enjoy life. And I don't think that it's going to make someone a killer or that there's all of a sudden you're going to turn into some demon child if you watch Call of Duty or something or if you play these games. But I think there should be, rather, I think that specifically in America, we've lost a sense of responsibility for childhood and for what that means for a young person. And it's like, oh, if they're ready for it, they're ready for it. Everyone should. I think there's a sense of wonder and innocence and like a beauty about being young that should be retained throughout your youth until you're 14, 15, 16. And me personally, I'm glad my parents were like that with me. I'm glad that I'm like that with Noah. And it sort of scares me when he tells me about his 10-year-old friends that are playing Last of Us, they were playing Dead Space 3, they were playing Bioshock Infinite, they were playing some of these very brutal games with intense killings, and it's like, what are you putting in your mouth and then sharing around the playground? I don't know, I know some people don't feel like you should play whatever you want, it doesn't matter, but I really am a strong believer in protecting protecting kids' childhood. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I'm going to jump forward a lot because I think these are a lot of repeated questions. Blondie Gamer says, "Can I sing?" Just wondering. I wish, but I can't. I mean, I can sing. You've heard it in some videos. Can I sing? Well, different story. Let's see. Carlo Radman asks, "What shoes do I wear?" I wear mostly Nikes, 99% Nikes. I really like the current KDs that I have. Kevin Durant 5 Elites, the Oklahoma City colorway. I'm very excited for the KD6s. They're coming out next week. Yes, I don't know. I'm not like a crazy fashionista, but I do like my t-shirts and I do like my shoes. So Nike. A lot of people asking like, why do this series when it comes out? Why do that series when it comes out? It's hard for me to judge. A lot of these games that people are asking about, Fallout 4, stuff like that, they're not even out, not even announced, so I don't really know. Ducky Boy 64, Crisis 3, or The Last of Us. Come on, Last of Us. Jordan says, "Have I seen Lego Marvel Superheroes?" I played it at E3. I actually have footage to be putting up soon. It was pretty cool. It didn't run so well. I don't know if it was an early build or what, but there's characters that can fly now, shooting fire beams out of Human Torch's hands. Thor's lightning hammer just obliterates the screen. It was weird because the 4 characters were on screen at all time, at least in the demo I played, and you could switch between them. There were 2 levels, and each of them had multiple characters as one person, so it was sort of weird. Lindsay says, "Who's your favorite Mario character?" Team Toad. I like Toad, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say that my favorite Mario character is Princess Peach. I'll get a lot of hate for that, probably. I have all my life, don't worry. My brothers definitely made fun of me for quite a while. I don't know why I thought she's cool. Whatever. Maybe because nobody ever picked her. I had some epic Mario Party battles, back when Mario Party was good, 1, 2, and 3, with my family. It was something that even my uncles would play with me, and we'd sort of have these really big Mario Party challenges. And I was always Luigi in Mario Party, and that's where I sort of developed, hold on. Come here. That's where I sort of developed my love for Luigi, who is right here by me. But then, as I got older, I decided to be Peach, because Jake was always Mario. And then I was like, I don't really want to be Luigi. We're like brothers in real life. Do we have to be brothers in the game? And so my options were like DK and Bowser, who were usually in both Mario Kart and Mario Party. Heavy characters and slow. It's not my style. So it was like I could be Toad, Yoshi, Peach. Toad is like okay, but kind of weirds me out. I really like Yoshi, but I feel like it's such an easy choice. And I was always the kind of person, well, not always, but sometimes kind of person, like I didn't like the mainstream. I don't like LeBron. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like the Yankees. I didn't like Yoshi. I like Yoshi, but not enough to beat him. So it was like I could be Peach, and nobody else was ever really Peach in anything I played. When I played with my friends, I played with my family. So I was like the lone Peach representer, and it was fun. And it always just sort of gets a weird reaction, like, "Why are you Peach? She has a crown and a dress." And it's like, well, whatever. I hate her in Super Smash Brothers, if that makes up for anything. This is a very philosophical question here as we go into the inner workings of why I pick Peach. Nowadays, I still think my favorite character is probably Peach or Luigi. I really like Luigi. It's a little weird in the new Mario game because they wear cat outfits, and I feel like Peach in cat outfits a little strange. Then again, so is Toad in a cat outfit, so I don't know where they're going with that. Austin says, "Will I play Dragon Age Inquisitions?" Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I know all they have so far is like this like hot sizzle reel, but it's a hot sizzle reel. I don't know what the game's going to play like, but I'm happy that they are not making it Dragon Age 3 and that they're looking to deviate from the formula and move away from what they have before. I don't know what this gesture is. It's my move away Dragon Age gesture, because Dragon Age 2 is kind of lame. A lot of people asking if Last of Us is a game of the year contender. Yes. Come on. Someone asked, David asked if I ever plan on making other types of videos like action movies. I don't know if I have the chops for making action movies. That would be super awesome, though. Other kinds of videos, yeah. Action movies? I don't really know. The typical question I've seen a number of times is, do I have any advice for new YouTubers? I don't really. It's so hard. YouTube is broken every other day, even for the people who are currently, on YouTube. It's a hard thing. Everybody and their brother does YouTube now. When I started, there was, like I said, a couple channels. I mentioned this at the top of the live stream. A few people, and now it's like every gosh darn person does YouTube, and that's fine, that's cool, but it's just that much harder to break through. Here's my advice I always give. 3 simple pillars. 1, top-tier equipment, top-tier dedication. You have to have good equipment. Unless you're going to be so crazy, unless you're an alien, people like, whoa, he's an alien, it doesn't matter if it's center def, you got to have HD equipment, you got to have a good mic, and you have to be dedicated. You can't put out a video and then a month later put out a video and be like, why is my stuff not growing? Top-tier dedication, top-tier equipment, that's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is you got to be unique. I don't mean like you have to be crazy, like, oh, I can juggle knives while singing songs and playing N64. But if you're just going to do walkthroughs like me and Brad and Tetra Ninja and Media Cows and SSOH PKC and all these other random people that sprouted out out of nowhere. I mean, you look, there's a guy right now doing Deadpool, Desirable Chris. He has 400,000 views in the first part. I've never even heard of his channel. I don't know how he has that many views. But, like, there are so many people on YouTube now that, besides, like, the sort of original walkthrough guys, so many people do walkthroughs. If you just do walkthroughs, it's going to be so hard. The only game I think that you can get away with that in is Minecraft. Somehow Minecraft is this anomaly that people just want to watch more and more and more, and I don't understand it. I thought Minecraft was a cute, fun little thing for about a week. But it's like, it's a crazy anomaly beyond belief. That's the words I have for it. So pillar number 2 is you gotta be unique. Do something different. If you're just gonna do walkthroughs with commentary, unless you're like so freaking amazing or so adorable and you do face cams, I don't know how that would distinguish yourself from the rest of the people. And the third pillar is patience. You have to be patient. Even for me, when I started, like I'm telling you, there was hardly anyone doing it, relatively, right? It took me 6 months to get partnered. It took me a long time to ever start accruing major views. I was happy in the beginning if my videos got 50 views, if they got 10 views. I was excited when I had 25 subscribers. You gotta be patient. People now, they see guys, like PewDiePie have 10 million subs. They see guys like Syndicate have 5 million subs. They see even people like me have 432,000, and they expect like somehow they're going to grow rapidly, super fast. That's not going to happen. It didn't happen for any of us, and it's not going to happen for you. So people be like, oh God, I've been doing YouTube for a month, and I only have 2 subscribers. Yeah, you might do it for 3 years and only have single-digit subscribers. I don't know. The pace is way different now. It's a different world on YouTube. Even within 2.5 years, like, it evolved and grew so rapidly and so fast. And the other thing is everybody can now get capture cards. Every company is making capture cards. They're trying to make them affordable. They're trying to make them cheap. It's a known thing. When I first started, I think it was a mystery. Like, how do you record these systems? No, everybody knows about the Elgato, the HDP VR, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like you're dealing with a gigantic pool, and there's only room for a few fish. So it's really, really hard. Ooh, someone just mentioned something. There's a question earlier about sequels. What sequel? And I said Mirror's Edge 2. L.A. Noire 2 also really looking forward to. I don't know if that's ever going to come out, but if it did, it would be great. Let's see. I'm going to jump forward here because I think I've answered most of these questions and people are just repeating them. If you're just joining, hi, or taking questions on Twitter, twitter.com/GhostRobo like we always do. We've never taken them on YouTube ever in the history of the world, and we're doing them on Twitter, twitter.com/GhostRobo. Just follow me there anyways. I feel like not most people are like, oh, Twitter's dumb, but it's where I give all my updates about series, about videos. People are always asking, when's the next this, when's the next that? You want to know, you should follow me on Twitter. Porter Davis says, what is my capture card? I use an Elgato Game Capture HD. Pretty much problem-free and records really nicely. Let's see. I'm going to jump way forward here. Whoop! A lot of people asking about GTA 5. Yes, I will be covering that game. A lot of people asking about Last of Us multiplayer. That's Sam Atkinson. Will I be playing Last of Us multiplayer? Yes, later today, in fact. I'm going to put up my first video on Last of Us multiplayer. I want to wait till I finish the game and then get into it because I was just so excited to pursue the campaign. But yeah, I've tried a little bit of multiplayer. Really, really cool, and so I want to bring it to you guys. Let's see. Alfredo Cervantes. Would I rather have a Bioshock sequel or Last of Us sequel? Oh, God. Such a tough question. I'm going to say Bioshock, and I know that's a little bit shocking because I currently prefer Last of Us, but the reason is this. Bioshock is a franchise, well, they could do the same with Last of Us. I think Bioshock, I like their creativity with their world building, and I think it would be more exciting to see a new world from them. If it's going to be a Bioshock Infinite sequel, I'd probably pick Last of Us, but if it's just a Bioshock sequel, like you say in your tweet, a new world, Rapture, Columbia, bam, Space Umbia, whatever the next thing is, let's go for that. Because Last of Us 2, I'd worry that they would dilute the characters that we grew to love in the first game, and I think that a new world would be more for me from Irrational. I don't know what Irrational is going to do. They take their time with games. I don't know if they're bored with Bioshock. I'm not even sure. The Madbox says, Bioshock and The Last of Us coming closer to your game of the year. Is there any game coming out later this year that I think could challenge for the spot? GTA 5 I think will be really good. It's just not the kind of game for me that would win Game of the Year. It's the kind of game that could be a 10 out of 10 and not win Game of the Year because I don't anticipate it having a memorable story. And for me, the connection with either characters or a mysterious story or an intriguing story is so valuable and important that I don't know how a game without that could be my Game of the Year. I don't know how a game that doesn't feature a very freaking awesome story could be that. So, with that in mind, Beyond Two Souls could be pretty cool. I don't think it's Game of the Year material, because I've played it for about a half hour. I think it's really cool. The gameplay itself is not really cool, so that hurts it compared to something like The Last of Us or Bioshock. Watch Dogs could be awesome, but again, it's not very story-heavy, and for me, I really like a nice, juicy story to bite into. I think the Mario game is going to be fantastic. Again, it's a mechanics-driven game, though, so it could be a 10 out of 10. There's nothing... I was talking to a couple friends about this. There's no real story-driven games that excite me that are announced. I mean, Destiny's really cool, but that's probably going to be mechanic-focused. Mario's really cool. Mario Kart, Titanfall, Watch Dogs. God, The Last of Us. It's in my brain. Assassin's Creed 4. These games are all exciting games. Dead Rising 3, Killzone Shadowfall, Infamous Second Son, but none of them have the emotional attachment or like the cinematic prowess of something like Bioshock Infinite or Last of Us. So I don't even really know what the next exciting game is. I like for me in that sense, like the true like open your heart and suck it in. It's gonna feed you with marshmallows and cupcakes. Where is that game? I don't know. I don't even know. There's nothing announced, I think, that can live up to that. Like, even the games I'm super hyped for later in a year or two, Mirror's Edge 2, Destiny, Fallout 4, stuff like that, I don't think they can reel me in the same way, and I don't know what game is going to do that unless it's Naughty Dog's next work or Irrational's next work. There's no other studio that comes close, in my opinion, to those two. I mean, like, The Order looks really cool from SSM and Red 8 Dawn, but I don't anticipate that having a story that, like, really grabs me. Let's see. A lot of people asking if I can play Last of Us 2. Yes, if they make one. Let's see. Questions. Couple asking like, what got me into YouTube? Did I get help getting big? I really didn't. I kind of did it all on my own. On my lonesome. Danielle says, "Hey, GhostRobo, I remember a couple months back you started League of Legends. What did you think of it, and how far did you get?" I didn't get very far. I got about 3 games in. The learning curve is really steep, and I understood what was going on. The moment-to-moment action wasn't fun enough for me to continue, though. Again, there must be a kind of gamer that really enjoys World of Warcraft, that really enjoys League of Legends, that something about it just doesn't click with me. I think it's a really cool game. I really would love to be into it hardcore because I know there's such a vibrant community and so many people are like crazy about it. I think what it does is cool. I guess just being a story-driven gamer, there's the moment-to-moment there isn't very fulfilling. And especially being someone who does really enjoy shooters, I think that sort of the disconnect in a very pulled-out perspective third-person game where you're clicking a button and there's cooldowns and stuff, it almost feels like I'm not the one playing, and that bothers me. Like, I could just be pressing the buttons on my keyboard and the character does its thing instead of me being like, okay, I've got this epic assault rifle and I'm going to mow down the opponent. It doesn't have to be, it could be a combat weapon, like a melee weapon. But, yeah, something just didn't grab me. It's a really daunting task to learn. And I also feel like it's one of those games that you have to dedicate yourself to in order to achieve the most, like, get the most enjoyment out of it. And as someone who is constantly playing new stuff and, you know, goes through over 100 titles a year, like, I don't have the time to dedicate to it as much as I would like to. It just doesn't really work out so hot for me. Let's see. Trying to find some new people's questions. Again, like, please don't repeat your questions. It's so hard because now I'm scrolling through hundreds, and most of them are repeats. Corbin Hughes asks, what's my favorite NBA team? The Pistons. Always has been, always will be. I really like the Thunder and the Warriors. Those are my sort of backups, but I'm a huge Pistons fan at heart. All the Detroit sports teams. I spent my formative years, now that I'm such an old man, how old was I? 7 through 14? 6 through 15 in Detroit, or suburbs of Detroit. So the Pistons, Lions, Tigers, Red Wings will always be my hometown teams no matter where I live. Let's see. Invincible Lednator says, how excited am I for Batman Arkham Origins, and am I upset about changing the actors? I don't really care about the actors. I'm not very excited about the game. I really liked Arkham Asylum. I was very disappointed by Arkham City, and I think that going open world and making it generic is a bad decision. I think that when it was linear and focused and they could really craft the environments to their liking and sort of put you in these like rooms and be Batman and make it happen, that was awesome. As soon as it got like, you can fly everywhere, that's so cool, use your gadgets on this and that, and blah, it lost a lot of its luster for me. I really missed the true Joker challenges, or Riddler challenges. That was one of my favorite parts of Arkham Asylum. I completed every single one. I liked that they actually made you think a little bit and you had to figure them out. I don't like collect 5 of these and then you unlock a Riddler trophy. That's lame. So I'm really worried about the game. I've said that from the beginning. I think that the trailer looked really promising. I like the idea of fighting against Deathstroke and some of these other masked villains. But if it's just going to be Arkham City covered in snow, I'm really worried. From what I've heard, they're not doing much to make him like a younger Batman. He still seems super strong and powerful. For me, it's going to have a cool story, some variant on the gameplay slightly, and a more diverse upgrade tree to really hook me later this year. Terrible asks, how excited am I from Watch Dogs? I'm very excited for Watch Dogs. I'm worried that it's more GTA than we think. They've been hyping it as this detective game, this game about technology, and then whenever I see it, it reminds me so much of GTA with a little bit of Assassin's Creed. And a knockoff GTA Assassin's Creed game sounds really generic. I'm hopeful. I think it looks cool. I think it's their primary focus this fall from Ubisoft, so I'm hoping that it delivers. I'm worried. I'm cautiously optimistic about most games these days because we get burned very often. The long PR cycles of these games where you see 50 previews, 50 trailers, it's bonkers, and by the time the game actually comes out, either you're exhausted from it because you've seen it so many times, or they don't deliver what you expected, and it's kind of sad. So I don't know, like Rage was a game I was super into, and that took forever to come out and then didn't deliver. I mean, Bioshock Infinite and Last of Us both delivered, even though I was a little worried about both of them. So, I don't know. Let's see. Video Game Master says, what is the scariest game I've ever played? I really don't like scary games. SCP Containment Breach scared me the worst. There's a jump scare in there that's crazy. Cry of Fear, though, is probably the scariest game I played. I did not enjoy my time with that at all. I was honestly sweating the entire time. Adam K678 says, since it seems like a lot of good movies have been announced, what movie are you most excited for in the near future? I don't even really know. It's a good question. So many of the ones I wanted to see were just out recently, so what's coming out? I don't know. I'm not excited for Thor 2 at all. I think that looks really bad. I'm not sure what the big tentpole releases are for the holidays. I know they've got The Hobbit 2, which I'll probably see. But I'm not like super excited for that. I don't really know. My favorite movies are the ones that surprise you, kind of like the non big property titles that are like really cool movies. So those I couldn't really predict. So I don't really know. I'm sorry, I don't really know. I'm Noah's excited to see Despicable Me too. I'm gonna go see that with them if that counts for anything. Let's see. Am I going to Gamescom this year? Probably not. It's the same week as PAX Prime, and it's way cheaper for me to go to PAX Prime than it is for me to go all the way to Europe. And I don't know if they're going to have... It's so hard. Like, if these conferences would announce what they're going to have playable there, it'd be so much easier for me to decide. And they're like, hey, we're going to have Infamous at Gamescom. I'd be like, I'm there. But I don't know. It might be the same stuff as E3, in which case I'd blow a lot of money just to go experience the same stuff I did at E3. I'm hopeful because PAX is so close to the American launches of everything that Microsoft, in particular, it being in Seattle, would bring a lot to the table, and Sony as well, so we'll see. I'm hopeful that that could be really, really fun. We'll just have to wait and see, though. I'm going to jump, because there's so many questions. Go to the top of the thing. State of Decay is returning today. A lot of people asking about that. Yes, it is. Let's see... I'm gonna take 3 more questions. I'm getting very, very tired. Talking for this long is like one of the most exhausting things in the world. Not in the world, but it does, like, you gotta be so focused to answer this many questions and think so much and talk so good. Let's see. A lot of people asking my age. I'm 23 whole years old. I know a lot of people think I don't look it, but I am. I'm going to take 3 more questions. Drake Kid 1 says, will I be playing Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 when they come out? I will be. I don't know if I'll be doing walkthroughs of them. They're both probably going to be really long games, and they're both probably not going to be out for at least a year or 2. They are multi-platform. People seem to think that they're PS4 exclusives. They're not. They're both coming out for both systems, and I'm really, fingers crossed, they're good. I think this is sort of one of Square Enix and Japan as a whole's last chance to really win people over. If Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 seem suckish and behind the times, it's going to be a problem. I think they have a real chance, like I said, to deliver amazing games that blow people away visually and mechanically. But I think everyone's kind of souring on that style of game as a large whole blanket statement, not the fans or anything, but yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. Andrew says, well, I play Dying Light. Dying Light is so cool. Then I remember it's from Techland, and I get a little worried, but it's so cool. It's this zombie game. It basically is the evolution of Dead Island. Riptide was kind of just a holdover for them to probably make some quick cash, but Dying Light is Dead Island mixed with way better graphics, mixed with a true day-night cycle, mixed with crazy fast, like, skeleton zombies, and mixed with free-running parkour a la Mirror's Edge, open world. It was a beast of a demo that I saw at E3. It was behind closed doors. It wasn't on the show floor. It was really fun. So I was really liking that. I'll probably make a video. It was my surprise of E3. It was so good. It was so good. All right, Napalm Chris says, Triforce of Courage, Wisdom, or Power. Probably Courage, because if I could not be afraid of anything, that would be super awesome. I don't like being, like, nervous or anxious, but I get like that a lot. I don't know. Wisdom, I don't know. I think I'm okay on being wise. And power, like I don't want to turn into freaking evil demon. So I'll stick with courage for now. Let's see. People really liking the live stream. Thank you guys very much. I am going to be live streaming a lot more, especially because there's no travel for a while. I'll be doing a Q&A live stream at least, well, I'll try once a week, and then I'm going to do some game stuff as well. Rogue Legacy, Game Dev Tycoon, Last of Us Multiplayer, if I can get that to work right. It should be a good time. So one final question before we get out of here. A lot of people ask like questions like, what game would I make if I could make a game? I don't really know. I think about it all the time, and I have some good ideas. I don't know if I'll ever get to put them into practice. I hope so one day, so I think I can make a really cool game. And it would probably be a mixture of stuff like Alan Wake, Last of Us, Bioshock. It would be third person. It would be story focused. It would be very mysterious. It would be the kind of game that kept you going, and it would probably involve hitting and shooting things, because what else is there to do? No, I think an environmental puzzle action game with a heavy story and a huge focus on mystery and lots of like mind-blowing moments would be the kind of game. Maybe it's the kind of game everyone wants to make, but it's what I would do. A game that is grounded in its reality, but weird things happen to the character for a lot of intrigue and mystery, and a game that is very spatially aware in the sense that you can see, hey, there's this giant tower over here, you can see it and you can get to it. Hey, there's this creepy lake over here, you can see it and get to it. I really love when games do that. Put the world in front of you and let you access it. Levels are great, levels are cool, but I like the idea of a sprawling world that is still linear in the way that it guides the player, but it is very accessible in the sense that you can see where you're headed and make it there and physically reach the places, to do that. I don't know. I've always wanted to review games. I've always wanted to make games. Maybe I'll get to do it in the near future. I have some secret project stuff going on that is long term. I can't announce any release date for that, any update for that. I don't know. But once that comes out, maybe we'll make a step in that direction. But Mr. Iceman 93 says, how do I feel about zombies everywhere in games? What is next? Vampires? I don't know what's next. Zombies are the thing. And I don't really mind zombies. I think they're an interesting enemy because they can be both scary, they can be aggressive, they can be fun. I don't mind it. I mean, cordyceps fungal victims is basically zombies, but they did it in a cool way. I think vampires is probably not a good direction to go in. But I prefer zombies over military men or spacesuit, warriors. So what else is there to do? I mean, you can do like animalistic people, you can do humans, you can do soldiers, you can do zombies is kind of the best option out of that, just because I think there's the most flexibility to create unique enemies and keep it kind of grounded. Like if you're like, we're gonna do this crazy monster, we're gonna do this gigantic lizard hamster demon, like okay, but you do like a zombie that feels, for some reason it's become such a part of pop culture lately and such a mainstream thing that it gets a little bit there's a sense of like, oh, this is plausible, even though it's pretty not plausible. It still feels plausible. And I'll end with this question from Ditch Royal, because I get this a lot. I want your honest opinion, Ghost, Xbox One or PlayStation 4? Like I said, I recommend the PlayStation 4 at launch because it's $100 cheaper, because I think it has better launch game, Killzone Shadowfall, and because I really like the controller, the improvements they've made, and their current focus on pleasing the gamer. I don't know how that carries out, how that carries over, how that works out in the next 6 to 12 months. I think the Xbox One, I'm very disappointed by the loss of features with the whole digital thing. I really like the idea of not having to put discs in, being able to share with my family members and friends, everything being online. It worked well for me. It was my kind of thing. They didn't do it for a boatload of reasons, so it's, that's said and done. I think both systems are very comparable right now. I think the $100 price point overall is not a big deal, but if I'm talking directly to you, I recommend the PlayStation 4 because it can save you $100. You're probably not going to be using Kinect that much. You probably don't care that you're missing a PlayStation Eye camera, and Killzone Shadowfall is going to be a very, very cool launch game, and you've got Infamous Second Son coming real soon after, hopefully in February or March of the following year, 2014. Long term, I think Xbox has a lot of money. They're really willing to dole out big wads of cash for exclusives and sequels and things like that they can get exclusively on the Xbox One. But because of their retractions on their feature set, the systems are much more similar than they were just a month ago. and probably going to boil down to a similar thing like the PS3 and the Xbox 360, where both systems are quite comparable. It just depends if you're a Sony fan or a Microsoft fan, you want to play The Last of Us, you want to play Halo, you want to play Uncharted, you want to play Gears, you want to play God of War, you want to play whatever. I don't know. I think long-term, Xbox One will sell better. I think Titanfall is going to really be a watermark for that system and the gaming space. If that thing turns out to be as big as they're hoping, it could be a real game changer. But at launch, I recommend the PlayStation 4 because it's $100 cheaper, because I feel like they're very comparable. The controllers are both good. Both very good, both good. BVG, VBG. And Killzone Shadowfall is probably going to be the best launch title across both systems, because Second Son is not launching with the system, and Microsoft has Killzone and Killer Instinct and Dead Rising 3. So between Killer Instinct and Dead Rising 3 versus Killzone Shadowfall and Knack, I choose those Sony titles because Killzone is so cool looking and is freaking gorgeous, amazingly beautiful, and looks like a lot of fun. PlayStation 4 at launch might be different in a couple months. Can't go wrong with either system. I think they're both going to be very cool. The graphics will impress you in person. Doesn't look as good on screen. The controllers are great. Thank you guys. You're all great. This was a fun live stream. I appreciate you asking all these questions. We had over like 600 tweets, 700 something like that during this this live stream. And let's see. Yeah, we gained some new fans, some new followers. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. New live stream coming soon. I'll try to announce them more in videos so that it's on the channel and not just on Twitter, in case you just refuse to follow me on Twitter. But what we'll be doing in the next live stream will be a game live stream, and then back to either a Q&A or call-in show or something like that in the near future. Thank you guys so much. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday day. And until next time, guys and girls, drink some hot chocolate. Thanks so much for watching. I've got to go back to my page to cancel this live stream, and wish you guys all well. Coming later today is Last of Us multiplayer, is more Rogue Legacy, and maybe something else. There's a Superman review, Man of Steel review that just went up. If you saw it, cool. That movie rocked my world last night. Very, very impressed. But until next time, guys and girls, thanks so much. Drink so much. We'll see you all later.